Still live on Metro Sports with me, Michael Kofi Odro. We'll take you straight away to Morocco, where I understand our colleague Abigail Senna Sosu, who is a reporter with Sporty FM, following the Africa Women's Championship and paying particular attention to the Black Queens. She will help us with analysis on the performance of the Black Queens yesterday and advancing to the last 8 of the competition, what it means for the team, how the reactions have been, and then the inside stories from the African Women's Championship. Good morning, Abigail, and thanks for the time. Hello, good morning, Abigail. Okay, we're having some challenges. We will make efforts to ratify and then get through to Abigail Senna Sosu, who is expected to join us from Morocco, where she's covering the Africa Women's Championship. But in the meantime, with me here in the studios, Kwabna Asante Fojo Kobe Jones is here, spokesperson for the National Chapters Committee of Accra, Hartsofo. Good morning, Kobe, and thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Okay. Jerry Efriye Pemka is a seasoned sports broadcaster, one-time editor for Kumasi Asante Kotoko Express. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Mike.
I trust you're doing well.
Doing very well.
Okay. Today you are in a tie, but it's not a red tie.
No, not.
Any
It's not a red day.
Okay, it's not a red day. I see. Okay, so you still like, I understand that we have Abigail Senna Sosu, who is covering the Africa Women's Championship in Morocco. Abigail works as a reporter with Sporty FM here in Accra. Good morning, Abigail, and thanks for the time. Yeah, Abigail, please unmute the sound on your device. We can hardly hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry.
Yeah, Abigail, how is life in Morocco like?
Oh, it's been good. The sun is up, so it's summer, but it's still good. It's fine.
It's still cold.
No, the sun is really up.
Oh, okay.
So
then
it's okay.
you girls are fortunate, because I know that anyone who travels to Morocco, the reaction has to do with the intense coldness of the weather. So you guys are fortunate to have the sun shining
Yeah, we
around this
met
time.
the sun, so.
Okay. Abigail, share with us, yesterday the Black Queens beat Tanzania by 4-1,
Yeah.
saving the best parts for late in the game. But it's a result that excited many Ghanaians. Share with us your pointers from the game, what happened before, during, and after the victory over Tanzania.
Well, I think that the build-up to that game began from the presser. It was Chantel, Boyholka, and Kimla. They came to meet the press, and from there, Kim made it known that now they have their destinies in their own hands. A lot of things have played to the advantage of Ghana. The gods of football decided to come down and watch us when Senegal also flapped that opportunity. We were literally aiming to go in or go through to the quarters as one of the third best. Didn't really think we'll get to be in the second place, but I think that if you listen to Chantel, she has enjoyed herself, new to the terrain, new to the competition. She's enjoyed a lot of support, and she said one thing that was very important and evident, that they fed off the energies of each other. The senior players getting the younger ones in line, and the younger ones also trying to also imbibe the little they also know into them. So it was a good way and a good blend for them, and they knew that if they really want to make themselves proud and Ghana proud, then this was the time. They've had all the opportunity, made all the mistakes, and this was the time they had to pick themselves up and do things their way. And I think that it showed how they began. And for some of us, we had always talked about First Lady B, especially getting to be a part of this team. She has had all the experiences, right, from U17 to U20 and in and out of the Black Queens. She has just been unlucky that every other time she goes through the qualifiers before the major tournament, she's confronted with some form of injuries. 2018 typical was when she had to go under the knife, and so she couldn't just be a part of that 2018 team that played here in Ghana, even though she went through the qualifiers while she was still with under 20. So seeing her back here was for some of us that we have known and followed her career was a good thing for us. And yesterday was somewhat a blessing in disguise. Unfortunately, we've not seen the best of Doris Bidua in this tournament, but for that goal she scored against Mali, there's little she has done, or the expectation from her has not really played out the way we wanted. So when I saw her in there, when I saw Princess Mafu in there, and I saw Justin Bonsu, whom we have also turned into a defender when ideally she is not. I thought that there was something new. There were going to be some new energies up front, especially with Presley Dubia, and it paid off. She got the first goal, played her heart out with all of her energy and all the experience we know she has, but unfortunately she couldn't finish the game. And I think those changes yesterday was just spot on. The best that whispered to Kim last to allow Stella Nyamche into that game did us a lot of good. We have known Stella from doing Siliti in Ghana, very efficient, excellent with her job, the youngest coach we've had in this country while she's still playing. And so we all knew what she's made of. So when she got in there and literally got that free kick, two other colleagues of mine just mentioned that that could be a goal or an assist. And knowing Stella and what she does, it ended up being an assist for her on coming from the bench. And Evelyn, having seen what was already going on, had no excuse to also join in the field and at least try to be a part of the winning team. For Chantel, we all said and we all agreed that this is just the icing on the cake for herself, all of her work rate from South Africa to Mali to this game. She has given her all on and off the pitch. She's that motivator you need, that vocal person you need. That some of my colleague journalists were even telling Kim at the presser that why doesn't he consider making her the captain, because she appears to be the most vocal, not scared to approach the referee to address issues, unlike our unassuming and very quiet captain Portia Boashi, who just watch along and try to place the whistle. She has been vocal and it has shown in her play and everything that she does, even away from the pitch. So I think that yesterday the girls had a lot of reasons to play for themselves and to play for their country. The accountant from the ministry has been here since Thursday. And so if you're staring at the accountant and you're looking at the pitch and you have 90 or more minutes to play and take your qualification bonus and you do not do that, then I do not know what sort of motivation they needed again. The Ghanaian ambassador to Morocco, Madame Charity, has also been with them throughout their stay inside there. So they are well cushioned, they are well motivated, and they just have to go out there, play out whatever they've gone through with Kim, and some moments of individual ingenuity and individual brilliance also came to play. So yesterday it was theirs to lose, and they knew just the importance. They picked themselves up and they did the job for themselves and for the country.
Okay. Now, Abigail, in the first two games, the coach Kim Lass was widely criticized by the media, especially those at home, for the choice of players, the substitutions, and the timing of the substitutions. First of all, do you share the same thoughts, having been very close to the team in the first two games? And if you do you think that there was a shift from what he did in the first two matches, which resulted in that emphatic victory for the Stars in the final group game? Sorry, for the Queens.
There was a huge shift. And that game against South Africa, there was no Jennifer Kujo in that middle. We saw some loose balls in there. And our defense, unfortunately, has been our weakest spot. I've always said that since he took over in January, I'm sure he also got to see that. And it is one department of our team that he's tinkered with a lot, even turning midfielders into defenders. In the case of Justin and Enetinama Bambila, we've seen them go into that position when we have Nina Noshi. That should tell you that he knows that there was a lot of work that has to be done with our defense. And going up front, for me, that has been where I've always made a case for Presley Dubia, because don't take anything away from Doris, don't take anything away from Evelyn. Their consistency has been questioned. But for Presley, we know that this is not a new stage to her. She's been out there for a very long time, that, like I said earlier, but for major tournaments that she's not gone for the Queens, she has seen it all. And naturally, she's a rather strong forward who will just go in there, not scared of what will happen to her, get the ball, win so that she has eyes for goals. And that is what I'm sure he later came to understand, because in the mind of Kim Lass and from what you hear around the team, he took Priscilla Dubia in there also as one of the defenders. But when it so happened that Doris Bidua was not available, I'm sure he was speaking to a maiden to understand that Priscilla is more of a forward than a defender. And in the case where there's no Doris Bidua, you need someone up front. I'm sure that is why he decided to go in for Priscilla up front. For Stella, we're all waiting and wishing that there'll be time that we'll see them. I mean, not just Stella, but some of the local girls. We saw Nancy Amo in that game against South Africa. I thought she put up a very good performance to have warranted maybe a start or maybe a game time in that Mali game. But he knew what he wanted. He knew his tactics. And finally, when he sat down to assess everything that has been said to him and how we played in the two games, I'm very happy he came to that decision with the lineup he brought up against Tanzania and then the changes that he made. No disrespect to Tanzania, they also have some good strength as well. Look how they played against South Africa. And their manager, Sime, also admitted that he knows us, he knows how we play, and he feels that they do play in a similar way. But unfortunately, our plans just worked out yesterday and we got the most from them. So he did everything that a lot of people have wanted him to do in the first two games yesterday, we're only hoping that he'll continue in that light and maybe listen more and let get to understand that these are girls we have known much more than he has. He might be the manager and all of that, but sometimes when those around also speak, it's just good to offer that listening ear. I'm just happy that the girls who came on yesterday also took advantage of the opportunity and made bold statements for themselves, getting goals and assists in Stella and then Priscilla. It was a bold statement because these are girls that a lot have championed, that they should have been a part of our starting 11 if we really wanted goals going forward in the last two games that we have played. So the two is gone. We look forward to at least get to the last four of the competition. In Algeria, they are coming in strong, but the advantage should be that we played two games in WAFCON. So they coming to WAFCON should be like more like our home ground for us to be able to move them around, throw in those dice, and then get some good results out of them.
Great. But before the game against Tanzania yesterday, there were reports that the Sports Ministry, led by its technical advisor, the Honorable Betty Nana Efua Crosby Mensah, had settled all arrears, including bonuses and per diems and all of that for the Black Queens. Do you think that played any role in getting our ladies motivated in that emphatic victory over Tanzania?
I'm sure it did, Michael. Motivation is intrinsic as well, and they worked for it. They deserve it. Hitherto, let's just be frank with ourselves. Some of these things do not happen with the Black Stars. There's no way we'd have to talk or they would have to go into pre-campaign without any of these things being settled. However, it came late or not. I think that it played a role, and for something that you really know that you deserve or you have worked for and you get it, it should motivate you because in the end, that's what they are in for as well. It's part of their job. And the good thing I'm sure is also that the honorable you mentioned and then the accountants from the ministry are still around. So you watch this, you look into the stands and you see your qualification bonus sitting down and you decide not to play. Then that is your own problem. So I think that also gave them a lot of motivation with the ambassador herself talking to them through it. Or anytime you get to the Twins Hotel and you look around the lobby, she's always there trying to keep them in check, trying to keep them focused like the mother that she is. It's been good to see how she has really carried these girls along. So they got all of the motivation, and that financial motivation is also important. And it was good the time it came late, but at least it was good to get them to be able to be focused and get us to qualify.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abigail, for that comprehensive report this morning. We'll certainly come back to you for how the team prepares ahead of the Algerian fixture. But how is the schedule like for today? Are they having a rest day or there's the recovery session this morning?
So before Kim entered the presser for the press conference, the presser area, one person from the technical team came to him and was asking if he should go and tell the team if they would train tomorrow at 5 p.m. And his response was, it's just 15 minutes after the game. The girls need to unwind. They need to be happy. We should allow them to enjoy themselves today. So if there's anything to take from that response, clearly today wouldn't be anything serious. They are not going to really get into that training mood almost immediately. And they are just a stone throw away from the beaches of Seda. So Seda is more like a holiday destination with a lot of beaches and a lot of hotels and all of that. So I think they might do that's their little beach work or beach walk that they do, but to zoom into proper training off of what Kim told his colleague, then I'm sure today could be an update and they might zoom into serious training hopefully tomorrow. Because most of us, literally, we got in today. So the game was 8 p.m. local time and we all left the stadium after 1 a.m. So clearly, it will just be unfair on their part to let them wake up some hours after all of that stress. So he will give them that day off, and I'm sure tomorrow we'll get them to start training ahead of Saturday.
Oh, okay. I see. The big game is scheduled for Saturday. Ghana, Algeria is a quarterfinal fixture, and Abigail will certainly come to you within the week for how the team prepares ahead of that big fixture. That was Abigail Senna Sosu, who is covering the Africa Women's Championship. Abigail reports for Sporty FM here in Accra and making time to speak to us on Metro Sports. We really appreciate the effort. She also highlighted the impact of the ministry's efforts to settle bonus arrears, per diem arrears with the team, and how that impacted the team's performance yesterday. That's for motivation at any level. It is good. And we say kudos to the special or the technical advisor at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Honorable Betty Nana Ifwa Crosby Mensah. She's leading the ministry's contingent in Morocco for the efforts she puts in and ensuring that these areas are settled, and also for the role she played in getting the ladies motivated and charged up for that all-important fixture, which resulted in the 4-1 victory over Tanzania. With me in the studios, Kwabena Santin-Fojo Kobe Jones is still here. Jerry Efriye Pemka is also here this morning with me. Jerry, we just heard from Abigail giving us a roundup of all the things that have been happening. She even went back as far as the first game on Kim last and how he did not meet expectations and all of that, the changes he made in yesterday's game, and then the results, seeing us through to the quarters of the African Women's Championship.
Well, Michael, I mean, yesterday I wanted them to come home based on what I've seen in their first two games.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't look like a team that was well prepared, a team that was hungry, a team that had what it takes to represent the country and make us proud. Going into the game, they had only 1 point, and yesterday's game was a must-win game. And in fact, I was surprised to see them play the way they did, because I have been frustrated seeing them ballooning the balls and just running, kick and pass, running, ballooning balls, taking shots from 30 yards, 40 yards, when there are better options in the box. Some of their decision-making was so bad,
I think the team plays
was so poor.
There's a lot of selfishness in the team.
Yes.
Players overly ambitious and wanting to be the ones on target.
So I was asking myself, well, this doesn't look like a Ghana team of any sort.
Yeah.
You know. And I even doubted whether we had players with the technical abilities to control game and, take on players. But yesterday in the second half, all these questions were answered, when he brought in Bedu and others. I saw Asantua and others all of a sudden yesterday taking on players, passing the ball, controlling the game, building from behind. And I was asking myself, why did they have to take 2.5 games for us to see the Black Queens playing like this? But for the penalty they had in the first half, the way they were playing, it was very difficult to see where the goal was going to come from. But when they came in the second half, the substitutions, the way they started playing for each other, you could see the movement, the creativity, everything came to the fore. And they scored 3 goals, in a short period of time and won the game convincingly. Maybe it has had to take a long time, or it must be Coach Kim's tactical, plan to play the long balls. But I think it didn't suit the girls. What we saw in the second half of yesterday's game, if they can build from there, I'm sure they will have a chance of progressing to the next stage of the country. They are playing against an Algeria side who are tactically very good. Very good. And if you should go to sleep and be losing the balls anyhow, like the way we played, especially in our first 2 games. They could hit us seriously because they take advantage and within a short period of time they can annihilate you. So I expect them to build from the second half performance of yesterday, and then try and control games. They should find their passes like the way they were playing. They should find their passes, create openings, stretch the opponent's defense, and pick passes and create chances and score goal. Not just ballooning the balls. People wanting to score from 35, 40 yards, and they don't even come anywhere near the goalpost. Then you wonder, why are they playing this way? Because even in the 6-yard box, shooting is a problem. We have struggled to score goals in this competition because our strikers are just not sharp enough. If you look at the first goal we scored in the competition against Mali, it was a very scrappy goal. Yesterday, we were lucky we got a penalty. So all these long balls, ballooning of the balls, have not yielded any, results. Yesterday, when we changed the game in the second half, then that is where we had some joy. So I expect the coach to continue from there, and then hopefully we hope for the best. Maybe we could make it to the semis.
Okay. Kobe, your take on the performance of the Black Queens and advancing to the last 8.
All right. Michael, let me take this opportunity to greet Uncle Atuaho. It's a long time.
Yeah.
I know he's doing well. He's a former board chairman of Accra House of Folk. And also the team of Hope Brand.
The Hope Brand.
Hope Brand,
yes.
The team itself. The Hope himself.
The Hope himself.
And AB and all the team members.
In fact, let me, in my intro, I did commend the Hope Brand for the dynamism, for the quality of work they continue to do, and delivering to Asante Kotoko.
Yes.
What they've been missing over the years. And I have, in fact, there was a conversation on Original FM last week about Ghanaian clubs and then the kids sponsorship. And in fact, my checks have revealed that for almost all the clubs that have kids sponsors in the country, it is only the Hope Brand, THB, that is giving real value in terms of, because for most of the clubs, they purchase a certain number of jerseys, then the players or the team are giving kits for free. That is not sponsorship.
Yeah, I think that thing has changed.
Yeah, that is not sponsorship. But for the Hope Brand, Asante Kotoko is not under any obligation to buy. In fact, Kotoko is not paying for any kits they are buying. They have taken it upon themselves to market the replica jerseys for their supporters. And on top of it, I understand Kotoko is even earning a token. I've not confirmed, but that's the understanding I'm getting at Kotoko. So that is a real brand or kit sponsorship. That is not the kind of deals they are giving us.
That is the other side of it. But you see, the Hope Brand is not only.
Probably it's one of the issues we'll deal with. So let's.
No. Let me put it straight.
Okay.
It's not only dealing with Kotoko.
Okay. There's Karela.
There's other and they have. You see, they are building an industrial hub for kits sponsorship. For kits
manufacturing
for sports kits and all those things. And I think that is a huge one.
Yeah.
Kotoko is just part of what the brand is doing. So maybe we'll look at that and
in fact, I visited the whole brand offices. That is being. In fact, the offices is already set. It's just the final touches that is ongoing.
Yeah.
At Kingsby.
Yes.
New Achimota, close to Kingsby Hotel. It's about 100 meters to Kingsby Hotel.
Yes.
And in fact, it's what they've done there is magnificent.
I mean, you will love
it. Now, Kotoko supporters, Karela supporters, and people that want quality sports kits, whether it is the bags, it is the jerseys, it is the tracksuit and all of that, will not struggle. So in fact, they've done well.
So let's open up to, let's let other clubs know that the whole brand stores is ready. Anything that you want from them,
But
can get
I've
from
already submitted a proposal to the whole brand, and they must sponsor Nagod FC. AB should stop what he's doing and sign that sponsorship deal with Nagod FC.
All right, but of course, you know we are all team members, so we
Yes.
need to sit down and look at it and see whether it will be lucrative
He has
for
to.
us. No, it's not him alone.
Okay.
We have a team
I know.
working, so the team members will sit down.
We'll sit down. I see.
With Hope himself.
Yes.
You know, Dr. Franco is also part. You know Franco Naro.
Franco Naro
Yes,
Kumasi.
yes, he's also part of the whole brand.
Such a great guy.
Yes. Michael, I think that the Queens didn't start well,
Yeah.
but as using the team to play a competitive game. But remember, when Nora came, Nora played qualifiers, so she had an opportunity to use the team to play qualifiers, and that gave her a sense of who can fit in, who can play in, because it's different from playing friendly matches and competitive games. There are certain players you will not see them well normally in those games because more or less like training matches. But when it comes to competitive games, maybe their attitude and mentality changes. And maybe he's now seeing the real Queens. Our first game we lost, but for me it wasn't a bad game, especially in the second half. Even the first half, in the first 15 minutes, I thought that we should have gotten a goal before South Africa got that penalty. And they shot into the lead and we couldn't recover. Even the second half, we came in strongly. I saw a team that is very promising, of course, judging from our standard to comparing it to South Africa that we know on the continent now. If you are talking about women's football on the continent, hitherto it was Ghana, Nigeria those days, but now we've fall off the pegging order. And we know the likes of South Africa and other countries, of they've overtaken us, Zambia and all those countries overtaking us. And I think we should accept where we are and start to rebuild and gain that momentum and get to that stage. That is what we should work towards. So in that game, I thought it wasn't bad. But I was disappointed when we drew against Mali because I thought that it was a game we could have won easily. The mentality of the girls in that game and maybe some of the changes from last didn't help because really at the time that they got equalized, I thought that we could have saw the game through. At least gotten that 3 points. You see, this is a competition, and you need points at that group stages to qualify to the next stage. So in certain stages, you need to make sure you play ugly and defend and make sure, especially when you have a lead and you are getting to the dying numbers of the game. And I think that is what I didn't see in that game. But in yesterday's game, if we're going into the game, I had that confidence because I saw a bit of improvement in the game against South Africa, in our game against Mali. But I thought that the Mali game should have been wrapped up, which we didn't do. So I was expecting to have another improvement in yesterday's game, and that is what we saw. In fact, when the Tanzanians got the equalizer, I think skeptics were coming back to think about whether we are coming to do another Mali or something. But I think the girls realized that we needed that win to make it to the next stage of the competition. And from the report that we got from Abigail, you realize that they were shifting some of the players and those who came in and the kind of contribution that they brought on board. They took an opportunity given to them. And that did a trick for us. Emphatic 4-1, tells you that the team is progressing. I think the bigger header now will be against Algeria, which for me is a task that is huge, but is not difficult. Indeed, if the girls get their mentality right and they go into the game wanting to be in the semi-finals, I think that I don't remember the last time we got into the quarterfinals of the African Women's Championship. The last time we hosted it here. I'm not sure we even got to the quarterfinals. I stand to be corrected.
No, we didn't make it out
We didn't
of the
make
group.
it out of the group stages. But now we've got into the quarterfinals. It's a step forward. All right? And I think that if they can get another mentality going into this quarterfinal game against Algeria, which is another solid team. I watched their game against Nigeria. It was a tough game. And it tells you that it will be a game that will be very difficult for us. But it's when you get to this stage, it's not about going to play better football. It's about making sure your strategy works for you. Indeed, if you qualify through penalty shootout, and you get to the next stage, you are there. And I think that that is what should be in the minds of Ken Lass. Yesterday, I saw he was very, very happy. I beg him, he should put the happiness behind him. It's not a time for jubilation. We want to move forward. And he should, like Abigail said, yesterday he didn't leave early. Maybe they'll rest for today and start preparing for Saturday's game, maybe on Thursday. But what I want them to have at the back of their mind, because I'm even told that the ministry, and let's also congratulate the ministry for what they've done, paying the arrears and per diems and all those. All these things, I think, comes in as intrinsic motivation for the girls, and it helps them. I'm even told that they are ready to go and pay the qualification bonus, and I'm hoping that bonus will be paid before we go into the Algerian game, so that at least it will be another morale booster for them. For me, I think that this team, especially the kind of changes yesterday, if it's supposed is able to keep the team and work on their mentality, we can't make it to the semi-final. So Algerians are good, fine, but I think that we still have an opportunity to make it to the semi-finals, and that will be a bigger step as far as our women's game is concerned. And kudos to them. For me, a lot of people are still don't have confidence in the coach. At this stage, he's the man in charge. Let's repose all the confidence in him. Let's support him and the girls, because he makes the decisions, so that we can make it to the semi-finals of the Women's African Cup of Nations. So Saturday will be the big day. If you look at the teams who have qualified to the quarterfinals, these are the big guns on the continent. Yeah. All right? And we are there. So if we're able to make it to the semi-finals, that will be a bigger step. And that will also it will also speak to a development of the women's game. And I've said this countless times, that the only brightest spots that I've seen about Keto Kruku's administration has been the women's game. And that one is in the upward trajectory.
One of, or the only?
The only, for me, the only I've seen that I can't always commend him for it is the women's game. And as for that one, you can't take it away from me. He has done extremely well, because when he took over, we were down. But if you look at even our club football in terms of women's game, how it has developed here, and to the extent that clubs can compete in the Champions League. We saw Ampim Dakwa, we saw Hazakes ladies, competing at the highest level. It tells you the kind of development that we've seen as far as the women's game. Now that's what I'm talking about, the upward trajectory as far as the women's game. And for me, is the biggest thing that has happened to the Keto Kruku's administration. And it will be a bigger one if they are able to make it to the semi-finals. Getting into the semi-finals is another thing, because from semi-final to the final is just a mile, and you can just get there. And who knows, maybe they can win the AFCON. But the bigger hurdle is to beat Algeria first. And I think that Coach Lars and his skills will work on that for us.
Okay. So that'll be it on the update from the African Women's Championship. But let's check out the quarterfinal pairings for the elite women's competition on the African continent. So we would have Morocco play against Mali. That promises to be a cracker of a game. That will be the first quarterfinal game. And then we would have the Algerians play our own Black Queens. Nigeria are also in there. They will take on Zambia. Wow, that's a cracker of a game. And then South Africa will play Senegal. So the winner of Morocco-Mali will take on the winner from the Ghana-Algeria game. And then that game will decide the grand finale, the team that makes it to the grand finale of the Africa Women's Championship. And then we'll have Mali-Zambia, the winner taking on the winner of South Africa, Senegal. So that's also another tricky duel.